So here's the sawmill head. In the instruction manual, it says to fold out. There's 2 bolt holes. One there, one there. Pull those 2 bolts out and fold down that center section of the crate. And the instruction manual wants you to tip the whole sawmill head forward to lay it face down on top of the crate. It also wants you to take cardboard from it and lay it down. I'm using 2 pieces just to be safe. And I also went another step ahead and used the actual cover for the crate itself to put underneath it, just because the crate side itself, when I fold it down, seemed awful flimsy. But we'll see how this goes. Try to be gentle with it, but I mean, there is a 14 horse engine strapped to it, so we'll see how heavy it is. Haven't even tried budging it yet, so could be entertaining for you. Alright, let's see how this goes. Well, I see right now, I gotta slide it down a little bit. So just tip it right forward. That's not too bad. There's a lot to hold on to here. Success, I guess. Slide it out a little bit more. And I guess that's how that's done. That weren't that bad. I honestly expected it to be a lot more difficult than that. I think the biggest pain in all that was getting the 2 bolts out and pulling down the edge of the crate to create the surface to lay the sawmill head on. So yeah, there's that. Hey everybody, how you doing? So in the previous video I showed you how I assembled the track, attached the bunks, the log dogs, all that stuff. That's sitting over there still, all 3 sections waiting to be put together until I get the base built for it. So now we're going to move on. We'll do a video on how to assemble the sawmill head and carriage assembly itself. So first thing you're going to want to do is these 2 long posts like this. Have the little red cap on the end there. These are to help guide through the nylon bushings on both sides, and I'm assuming also help from potentially damaging them. So one important thing is on this side you can see 2 holes. This side you can see 2 holes. The 2 wider holes need to go down. So we'll slide this right through. Maybe. I might have to loosen that up. Probably isn't the 100% proper way to kick it, but they're in. Or that one's in. Do the other one. Make sure it's lined up before I go trying to force it through. There, that one's through. They're about the same place. So, next step is we're going to attach the frame pieces, the black triangular pieces. These, which is what actually rolls on the track. We'll get them attached. then put the other uprights on, and I believe after that we're ready to stand the sawmill head up. So I'll set this down. Maybe I can set it down without it falling over. And like I said, apparently I can't set it down without it falling over. I'll take a second, I'll find the right bolts and everything, then I'll show you how those attach. So I'm going to start with the right side here, and first thing I'm going to do, pop that right out of there. Get rid of both of them while you're at it. Don't need them anymore. They will just help guide through the bushings. So make sure when you attach this that the wheels are on the inside. I know you can't see it from right there, but wheels are on the inside, not on the outside. You want the bolts facing in. So start the bolt from the outside with a nut on the inside. I believe. I'm gonna double check that real quick. Yep, I got that backwards. So don't make that mistake. And don't let it slam down on it. But you want the bolts facing out. There, let's try this again. And I forgot to put the washer on, so if you're not sure what bolts to use, read the instruction manual. I'm showing how to do it. You can figure out the bolts yourself. So you want the nuts on the outside. You gotta pop this back out again. Put a washer on the inside. Feed that back through. Put the washer on the outside. And all I'm doing is slugging them up right now. Leave them just barely loose. Still want stuff to move to be able to line stuff up later on down the line. Yep. Alright, so that's one side. And then come over here. I'm going to do the same thing just on this side now. Our wheels have to go to the inside. Don't forget to put your washer on like you did on the other side. There we go. Washer and a nut. I'm going to do the same thing again. Bolts go in from the inside of the carriage. Not having it together, I couldn't tell you if you had it the other way. Put the bolts in from the outside if it bumped into anything, but I did read in the instruction manual that they should go in this direction, so there's got to be a reason to it, I would assume. Snug these up. Just like I did on the other side. Oh, nope. Hope I went the right direction. Oh. Wow. I'm failing here. There we go. That's better. snug. So the next part's going to be the next, I believe, will be the next two uprights. So I'll collect, there'll be one going here, it's the angled piece on both sides. I'll collect those parts and the nuts and bolts required for that, and we'll put those on. So the instruction manual says to stand the sawmill carriage back up right now. I'm not going to do that because I'm not sure how much of a pain in the ass that'd be to get the crate out from underneath it, and obviously got the back half of the crate here because I got it laying face down on it. I'm not really sure if they took that into account, but so I'm going to throw these uprights on, get everything assembled, then I can pick it up with the tractor and not have to worry about this crate being in the way. So I think you might come up with something better, but that's how I'm going to do it. So the assembly will still be the same, only instead of it standing up, it's still laying down for me while I'm doing these next couple parts. So, but once I get everything together and solid up there too, then I'll use the tractor, stand it up and pull it away from the crate and have some room to move around on it. Alright, so using the same bolts that we used down here, put them in the same direction in from the inside. I'm going to set this top one in, literally just to set this on. And apparently it can be kind of a pain to get that in there, but a little bit of wiggling, it's on there. Again, I'm not tightening these, just getting them close. I'll tighten them once they get on the track. Everything can still move, as you can see, quite easily. So I'll pop that out and set that in. This one I'm only putting on finger tight because I may have to take it out to get some room to adjust to get the holes up top, but we'll deal with that when that time comes. And I'm gonna do the same thing up here on this end. Pull that first bolt in, bring the in. Remember, bolts from the inside out. Well, that one was a lot easier to get through. Throw your washers on, steady nut. Snugging it. I'm not doing anything more than that. Oops. The washer on, throw the nut on, and I'm not even putting the ratchet on this one again. Just putting it on finger tight. That way I still got plenty of movement up top when I go to attach that part. So there, it's starting to take shape. Move on to the next part. So now I got this big piece right here, and this is heavy. I'm kind of glad I'm not trying to do it standing up because it's heavy enough to have to pick up from 8 inches off the ground. But I grabbed 6 of the bolts. I want to say M12 by 90, something like that. Anyway, the 6 bolts that are going to go here, here, and here. So 1, 2, and 3. We'll get those put in on both sides. I'll snug them up, and then I'll stand the whole thing up. So that'll give me somewhere to grab a hold of with the straps on top of here, and I'll feel a little better than grabbing something like that with nothing's tightened down yet. So let's see how much of a pain this is. Oh yeah, that's tight on there. Don't know if it matters if the bolts are to the inside or outside, but alright, sorry about that little glitch. But anyway, I got this bolt in over here. I'm gonna throw a nut on it just to be safe, make sure it doesn't go anywhere. And actually, I'm gonna double check and make sure that doesn't need to go from the inside out as well. Yep, of course. Gotta go from the inside out, like such. So, get that in. Washer and nut on that. We'll come over here just to level it out. And that does not want to line up. I guess I don't really want to bang on that. I know I did, but that worked, so inside out. Well, kind of worked. There, inside out. Damn it. There. Alright, so just keep in mind, you have to do some wiggling and jiggling on everything. But put the two nuts on the other side along with the washers. Right now they're literally just hand tight. So I gotta throw one in the bottom down here. This top hole here will end up with a pulley mounted to the inside. But let's see what we can do here. I can't even see where that hole is. Oh, found it. Alright, I give up. I gotta stand it up. It's gotten the best of me. So as you saw, that didn't go 100% exactly as I had planned in my head. Not quite as smooth, but it's standing up, so that's all that matters. So, next bolt, I'm going to go in this hole right here. should hopefully be easier to line up now that I have it standing up. Set that down somewhere I won't lose it. Oh, there we go, much easier. Wow, so much easier. What's that? Again, I'm not tightening it down yet. It can wait. So, come over here to the other side. Do the same thing. This side's going to be more of a pain, I can tell already. But we'll figure it out. Oh! Okay, that weren't that bad. Thought it was going to be a lot worse. Put the washer on there. Pick the nut up off the ground. Put that on. Now we will wipe some of the dirt off it. I'll leave that on there for now. I'm going to make my life easier and pull it out of the crate completely now that I got this all snugged up. Well, not snug, but you know what I'm saying. So, see you in a minute. So off camera, I got this bolt in, the long one for the top. The pulley's going to go right there. You got one of the larger of the two spacers that come in the bag with the pulleys. Put that on. Slide the pulley on. Washer. That don't seem right. Doesn't sit in there flush. Will that sit in there? Alright, so if you want the washer to sit flush, you'll have to put the lock ring to the inside. Nope, much better. So again, everything's still finger tight on here. Turns nicely. So come over to the other side. We're going to do the same thing with a couple added extra parts. I believe I'm going to have to pull that one back out here in a minute to add to it, but we'll deal with that when we got to. And be careful not to bust these threads up. Oh, that looks good. Cool, get that one through. The more this goes together, the harder it is. Oh, do I need a washer? Nope, just a spacer. And remember, put the lock ring facing in. You don't need a washer. And a nut. Whee! Alright, let's see what we got now. Oh. Log scale mounting bracket. Looks like we're gonna get that thrown on now. Give me just a minute, I'll get the pieces together. Alright, so this next part, you're gonna need this really small spacer. Bolt with a washer. Bracket for the log scale. So I need to start by, holy, apparently I'm stronger than I thought I was. Taking that off. The spacer is going to go directly under the pulley. Put the nut back on. Slide that on. Spacer is going to ride right in this groove, so you can adjust it. Feed the bolt in from the inside. That seems like way too long a bolt. I'll double check. Oh, there you go, dropping stuff. This is what it called for, M12 by 35. So and I cannot get that nut started. There we go. And yeah, that is right. So I'm gonna snug that up. Well, I'll tell you right now, this one's kind of a pain to get to. Oh, you know what half the problem is? I'm doing it backwards. The one friggin' bolt that goes opposite of all the others. I need the nut on the other side. So, let's give this one another shot, shall we? It's nice and short, and put it in from this side. There. Let's try it now. Yep, and hopefully I had my ratchet going the right way. See, it's good that I'm teaching you guys simple things like that. You know, life's easier if you're actually turning the bolt the right direction, or at least the direction that you want it to be. So. Just snugged it. Still not tight. Mosquitoes everywhere. Next step, per the instruction manual, is mounting brackets for the tank. So, with that said, we'll get these put on. Pop the bolts out real quick. Now, see how they're curved and you got this flat top? Flat top goes up, and you want to mount them on the inside face of these two tabs. This one shouldn't matter. I want the bolts facing in. Give it a cleaner look from the outside. So get them on there finger tight. These I'm going to tighten down in just a minute. Just get them on there for now. Remember, on the inside. Alright, got those on there. Tighten them right up. Some of these bolts seem excessively long for where they go and what they do, but whatever. Getting eaten alive by mosquitoes still. Here. Oh, flipped around. It seemed to work pretty decent, so. Again, I am tightening these because there's no real reason not to. There's no adjustment in these. It's just mounting the water tank, or lubricant tank, I should say. Double check these ones over here real quick. So, there, both mounted to the inside. Bolts fit going in from the outside, and the flat part up, so it should be flush. Next step is to mount the lube tank. So, this one on this side, because of this stuff here, I couldn't slide it on, so I had to pull the nut off, pull it apart, wrap it around. This one on this side, I just slid it on over the end. These, you're gonna slide it in and slide it in, move these over here, bolts sticking up, and we're just gonna snug them down. And this is more of a pain than it looks. Oh, that ain't too bad. There. Put that side on. See, that looks. I'll slide it over a little bit. Want to get it centered as best as possible. Yeah, that looks pretty good to me. So now I will show you what it looks like on the back side. I just slid it in. Slid it in. Both of these facing up. I'll probably even them up here. Obviously this one here sticks up more than the other one, but I'll push them down. Just rotate the band a little bit. And oh, look, Woodland Mills HM130. You know what? It's so pretty, I might just leave it sitting here as a lawn ornament. Nah, could never do that. All right, I'm gonna get those tightened down now. That's not even close to the right size. That would be a 10mm. I will say it's kind of a heavy duty clamp. Just holding this on. I'm alright with that. Oh, can't reach all the way around. Gotta use a giant ratchet, you know. Just while you're doing it, make sure it's seated on the actual bracket itself good while you're tightening it. Alright, that should be alright for now. I'll come back to them later on down the line when I go through and retighten everything, because, you know, stop doing that. Slow myself down a little bit. There you go. Alright, making myself mad now. There, can't do it now. Should be all right for now. I'll give that another, well, check it again when I go through and tighten everything else down. So, all right, let's see what we can do now. So next thing you're going to want to do is, you got your two hoses. Take your shorter one, and I like to blow through hoses prior to installing them, just in case there's something you don't see in it. You're going to slide it right into the petcock at the bottom of the tank. And you're going to come down here, simply, I say simply, we'll see, slide it right down over the barbed fitting, all the way down there. I don't like how that kind of just flops around, but there it is. And then I'll move the camera and I'll show you where the other hose goes. Okay, so the next hose you're going to take, slide on the other barb fitting here. Try to be careful not to kink it. This isn't the most flexible hose. And then this little tab right here, you're going to feed it down through. And then right here on the back of the blade guide support, we're going to do the same thing. Slide it right down over the barb, all the way down. There. So, just like that. Once you have them going, you should run from up here down to the valve, off the valve, over, down through that little tab, right down to there. See how I got slid all the way down? That's how you want it. Alright, let's move on. So our next step is to mount the control panel. And I'm going to utilize these bolt holes right on the edge. Start with 2 on that side and 3 on that side. Right now I'm just going to hang it, get the bolts in place, and get it on there. And then we got some pulleys to mount on the back side of it. And then we've also got an hour meter to mount to it. Then I believe after that we'll start working on the crank mechanism. Alright, here we go. I can't remember exactly where the bolts need to go, so right now I'm just sticking a couple in to hang them. I'll double check to see where they need to go. I need 3 on this side. 1, 2, and this one here doesn't belong here. There's a longer one that'll go in this hole, and I believe there's a pulley that goes on the back side of that. We'll get to that in a minute. And then on this side, I just want these very bottom 2 holes for now. Not the top one, just these bottom 2. Grab some washers. 2 over here. 1. Oh, yeah, there we go. Lube and stuff. 2. Before I get too far ahead of myself, throw a nut on the back side. I don't believe anything else needs to go in there. The way my luck works, chances are I'll need to pull them back off, but whatever. At least I know that the dashboard isn't going anywhere. Pick up my washer. So go on the back side here. Grab a nut. Another washer. Another nut. I'm slowly starting to feel like I'm finding the end of all the nuts, bolts, and washers, but you know, time will tell. One more washer. Alright, those 3 are in. These 2 are in. A bolt on the back side. So for the next step, you got, look at the instructions, find the correct bolt for this spot right here. Oh wow. Alright, give me a sec. Alright, got that through. And then you're gonna need a washer, a nut, one of the really big spacers, and a pulley. Set the spacer on, pulley, washer, and nut. Finger snug for now. We'll tighten everything up later. So there. Look, it spins. Imagine that. Next step is not to get eaten alive by flies, but little small bolts. We got our hour meter. Notice I haven't snipped the wire yet. That's what makes it actually work. And then we got these tiny, tiny little things for the back side, which I'm probably going to lose, knowing my luck. Be a miracle if I don't right now. Oh wow, didn't drop it. And then we'll do the other one. Again, little tiny things. Stack them in my hand. There's no electrical connection for this. It's got a battery in it. Let's see if I can find some overkill for this. Here we go. This ought to do it. Alright. And let's get the other one, and then this part will be done. We're getting close. Who am I kidding? Work's only just beginning. Alright, there. Hour meter's on. Don't snip the cord until you're ready to start using it. So for the next step, we're going to attach the crank handle. So, mine came with bolt already attached. Pull that out. I slid one bolt in already. I'm gonna slide that on right there. I'm just gonna, this is kind of a pain. get the nut on there, just hold it in place. And I need a washer, I think. Doesn't actually say to put a washer on it, but the hole for the bolt is pretty friggin' big, so we're gonna throw a washer on it just for fun. And I can't seem to get it. There we go. Alright, that'll hold it, at least hold it in place. Alright, so I'll move the camera. The next part we're going to do involves adding some pulleys on. So the orientation it's going to go is going to be washer. I'm going to slide that through. Here, I'll show you prior to putting on. Then you're going to want the side with the snap ring going towards the spacer, the large spacer. Then you're going to use one of the small spacers. And then for this one, everything to line up right, you're going to want the lock ring facing out. And that'll give you enough room so they can turn separately and not touch. Gives you just enough. But we'll pull them back off real quick. Put the bolt through. Alright, so we got the long bolt in. Like I said, you're going to do the long spacer. And the pulley. Remember the orientation I showed you. Lock ring facing in. Small spacer. Then the second pulley. Lock ring facing out. Throw a washer on there. And a nut. I got a nut on the bottom, nut on top, and that. And yeah. Obviously needs to be tightened up, but I did buy the power head attachment for it, like I mentioned earlier before, so but I'm still gonna wait to tighten everything up until I get it sitting on the track when the track's all level, because I might need to be able to oops. Hey, pay attention before you start shaking stuff to where you have other stuff sitting. Alright, like I said, there's still quite a bit of flex and everything because I haven't tightened anything down, but that'll get taken care of when I set it on the track, with the track solid, level, bolted down, not moving. Until then, I'm leaving everything just finger tight. Now we're going to run some cables. So standing at the back of the machine, the right side one, you're going to come up and over this first pulley. And then the one further out, I'm going to loop under that one. the one straight in line with that one, which would be the one further away from the back of the machine. And pull this off. We'll adjust these all later, but for now, get the nut off there. And underneath here, there's two brackets underneath this, and this first one for the right side of the machine is going to go to the further bracket back. They're spaced differently. And it's hard to put a nut on when you can't see. There we go. So I want to pull it so it's just snug, so it stays in the pulley grooves. I'm not worried about adjusting anything right now. All I'm worried about is just keeping it in place at the moment. We'll do all the adjustments later. So that's good enough to hold it in place. And I'll move the camera and we'll do the other one. So the cable on this one connects down bottom there. You're going to come up over the top. Then you're going to come down to this pulley. We're going to come all the way over. This one's considerably longer. Come all the way over. And I probably should have done this one first, I guess, but no biggie. Feed that through there. This is going to go on the inside pulley. I'm going to come around the front of this one. So now both pulleys have them on there. And this is going to go on the second mounting bracket tab underneath this right here. And I'll show you what that looks like here in just a minute. Again, we'll do the adjustments later. Right now I'm just snugging this on there so the cable stays where it needs to stay. So, you should look at that, it slides up. There. I just want to get some tension on it. Now I know they're not going anywhere. So again, up, over, into this one, over to the inside one, then the inside one again, and hooks underneath. And I'll show you where it hooks. See how one's further back than the other? So that's how that goes. Now we're going to go ahead and attach the log scale. So if you look, there's two holes, one there and one there. Not the easiest to get to, but that's alright. You'll take this piece, you'll find it in a bag that also has your pointer in it. And we're just going to, if you pull it apart, you'll see on the back side, and there's a slot for that to go into. We're going to take that, snap it in place there from the front, and then put that on the back. You'll take your knob, it's going to go right there. Sandwiched this piece in between the two. snug it up just enough so it'll hold it. I can still move it. And that's not even close. Oh, I did it backwards. Okay. Yep, hang on. Yeah, that's why we're doing this. Help you guys figure it out. Not sure what I was thinking on that one, but so this piece go from the back side. That way it actually sandwiches it in between the two. Get it close. Put this, line the 2 bolts up. If you look in the bottom of that, there's 2 bolts, a little bracket in there already. I'm just going to line them up as close as I can with the holes that are down there. Then I'm going to snug this right up to hold it in place. And that don't want to hold it. Alright, so pull these screws off. Careful you don't lose the washers. On the back side of this is a relatively heavy duty steel plate that's going to go on the inside of this, in behind the band wheel. Right there. So, never mind. This goes on the outside. Hey, that's what we're here for. Figure it out. We'll figure it out together. So we'll slide the bolt in, the top hole, and slide this down. There. Put a washer on. Careful, because you're reaching in where the blade is, so you don't want to cut yourself or something. Just put that finger tight for now. There, get that on. We'll throw the other nut on, washer. Again, be careful, because you are playing around down with the blade is. There's a blade on it right now. So I'm going to grab something to tighten that up with. I'll be right back. Alright, so I just went and grabbed my overkill of an adjustable crescent wrench and a 10mm socket and extension so I can actually reach in there comfortably. So do the bottom one first. Get this tightened right up. Remember, you need this tight, but it's also a small bolt, so keep that in mind. You know, you don't want to go breaking something. There, now that's on. So next thing I'm going to do is put the actual pointer on. Now that we've got it bolted at the bottom, it's supported. We'll pull this back out, off. If you look at this piece, there's a ring around it that sits right in perfectly. Then we'll reconnect it. Just like that. Now you got a pointer. So, one thing you can do is with your log scales, whatever one you use, the one that you don't use, just throw it right on the back side here, right in the spot perfect for it. So, obviously this isn't where it's going to sit forever, but this is where I'm going to throw this one on for now. Boom.
So yeah, there we go. That's on. What's next? Next step is going to be attaching the handle, the push handle. So I'm going to utilize these two holes right here. Don't need washers for these because the nuts have the washers built onto them, and the bolts have the same. So I'll probably end up adjusting this later on down the road, but for now, this is how it's going to go. This is adjustable, so if you want to change it, like so, but I'm going to put it on there just like this for now and crank it down, because I can adjust that later on once I get it up on the platform I'm going to build for it. So for now, it can stay just like this. Keep in mind, you don't need these extremely tight. If you do, you risk squishing the tubing walls together. So I'll just keep that in mind, no big deal. So next, I believe we're going to attach the throttle handle. So give me just a minute with that and we'll take care of it. So I got the cable all pulled out with the throttle handle. I backed these two bolts out. You'll need an Allen wrench for this. I'm mounting it like so because I feel like pushing it. This would be the easiest to, in my mind at least. We'll see. That's a simple thing to change later on down the road should I want to. So we'll just snug this up for now. With these, try to tighten them up as evenly as possible. You can always move it in the future. Seems to work just fine. So, there, that's on. Cool. What do we got left? So this next part, we're going to install the latches for underneath for the doors. So it's pretty simple. You got the tiny little screws, go right in them holes, Phillips, and then there's a threaded block right underneath here. Just, oh, got a four-wheeler going by. The other one before I tighten that up. There we go. Tighten right in there. The other side's the exact same thing. So I won't bother putting you through watching that twice. Swing the door almost closed here. If you look over here, you'll see those two holes. We're going to utilize them here for this next part. this piece here, which is the actual hook for it. So with these, there's no threads on the back side, so you're gonna need one of these little tiny miniature nuts here. You know, because I do so well with little tiny stuff. But that one started. We'll get the next one started, and then I'll use my crescent. Oh, make sure the hook is. I'm an idiot. All right, let's try this again. Put it in the wrong spot. Get it backwards. Slide it over to the other proper hole. That way it can actually line up. Alright, now we'll do the next part. Next screw. Open from underneath. Put our nut on top. I don't do well with little tiny stuff. Now, I'm going to use my size appropriate crescent wrench for these little nuts. Doesn't have to be perfect, so I'm just going to center them and call it good enough. There is adjustments on these. The holes are slotted, so if you did need to slide it back and forth, you can. But let's test it out real quick. Make sure it actually latches. These are adjustable. Oh, help if I didn't have a hose blocking it. Take it out, latch it. There you go. And for the other side, you're going to repeat the same exact thing. So I don't think you need to see it twice. So that's that. As you can see, after I got the cables all attached and everything, I went ahead and raised the sawmill head up so I could get at these latches underneath. One there, and there's also the little knob in the center that was in the back if you want. I adjusted all the latches so they close nice and tight. Simply just turn it a little bit, but I had to lift it up because there was no way I was going to get that with it sitting right on the ground. So keep that in mind in case you're wondering how all of a sudden I had access to that area. So the next step is we're going to install the handle on the blade support, adjustable blade support. So let's do that. So to put the handle on here, you're going to take this long one. It's got an Allen wrench instead of a bolt head. You're going to slide a washer on it. You're going to take your handle. You're going to slide it inside so it's recessed. And it's going to screw right into that threaded hole right there. So apparently this might take a second. There we go. So it also wants us to throw a nut, not a nut, yeah, and a washer on the back side. So we'll throw a washer on. And the bolt. Give me just a sec, I'll grab a socket. Yep. Gonna have to hold that. There, that's on. So now, I should be able to I like that. It almost feels indexed, which is weird because I don't see how it would. But it's cool. So there's that part. So last and final step, according to the manual, keeping in mind as well that 95% of this is not tightened up, just snug, is to tighten these track wheels. Get these tightened down, and then I'll work on getting my platform built to mount this on. And once I get the carriage set on that, then we'll go around, square everything up, and tighten literally everything. So that's that. Well, thanks for hanging out while we put it together. I hope this helped you out. I'll be honest with you, I feel like this one went together a lot better than the last one I did. I feel like they've done a lot of little improvements to it versus older models. My 126 that I had was probably 7 years ago, and I feel like this went together a lot smoother, so they're definitely making improvements. I will say that. Yeah, so stay tuned for more videos. There'll be plenty to come. Hope this was helpful to you. Thanks for watching. Bye.